Hey everybody, it's Mrs. Cranbeer again with round 2 of the Google Classroom tutorials. And today we're going to focus on the different calendars that you can include in your Google Calendar. So we're going to start with the My Calendar section. And most of you are going to have your name, and then you're going to have maybe birthdays or something like that, and you're going to have the classes that you belong to right now. This is the place where if you create a new calendar, that's where it'll show up, or if you join a new class, that's where it'll show up as well. Two different options underneath the drop down next to My Calendar that you'll need to be familiar with. And those are settings and create a new calendar. I'm going to go into settings really quickly just to show you what options you have available there. So basically this will show you all the calendars that you've added to your calendar. I have several, and you won't see a lot of these because I have hidden them because I am no longer using them. And I'll show you how to hide them from your calendar view a little bit later here. But you can see the ones that have the check marks here are the ones that I'm using currently. And you can alter that too, so I can go ahead and hide that by clicking on it or bring it back. You can also edit your notifications. So when I click on notifications, it will show me that I can get a notification on my computer every time an event is coming up on my calendar. I have mine set for 10 minutes before because that will give me a chance. So when I'm in a classroom and I get a notification that I have a meeting coming up, then that'll give me time to get there. You can adjust this so that it's an hour, or you can adjust it so that it's half an hour or 15 minutes, whatever works for you. You can also allow yourself to receive an email instead of getting a notification that pops up on your computer, or I also use the app on my phone, the calendar app, so that it shows a notification on my phone as well. You can also, and this would be especially important for you guys when you have all day notifications, which is what your assignments will mostly show up as, you can get a notification the day before. So this is useful. Well, 11:50 at night is probably not going to be useful to you. So maybe I want to set it for 8:30 p.m. So that's my last reminder of, did I do this? Is that assignment done? Kind of last double check to make sure I have everything ready for tomorrow. You can also set to receive emails or SMS notifications for any events that happened on your calendar. You can choose how you want to set that up, but just so you know that is there. Make sure that you click save when you're finished so that your changes are saved. We hit back one more time, two more times I guess. And then I'm going to show you the other option in My Calendar where you can actually create a new calendar. So this works really well if I want to create my home calendar. So if I want to keep my home calendar separate from my school calendar, and so maybe I can assign that a different color and I can have those two separated out on my calendar. The biggest thing, and you can add lots of descriptive pieces, but you really don't need to. The biggest thing I want to draw your attention to here is when it says share this calendar with others. There really shouldn't be a reason that you have to share your calendar with others. And in fact, I would encourage you not to, because it's really kind of creepy if somebody has access to everything that you put into your calendar. You don't want that to be out there. I would definitely recommend that maybe you want to share it with your mom or your sister or your brother or your dad, so that way you can make sure you're keeping track of each other, and you know if you have a big event coming up and your mom has something at the same time, she's not going to be able to pick you up after practice. So that would help you guys to coordinate a little bit. So all you have to do that is add their email address in. So if I wanted to share this calendar with a staff member, or if I want to share it with my husband, I can do that. I just type their email address in here. And then I can also set my permission settings for them to only see free or busy, so that you can hide the details. I use this setting as an instructional coach because when I share my calendar with teachers so they can see if I'm available to meet or not, they're not going to see all the information about everybody that I'm meeting with. They just see if I'm busy or if my calendar is open at that time. Probably not a wise idea to say make changes and manage sharing as an option when you're sharing it with somebody, because then they can make changes on your calendar for you, or make changes to events. My suggestion would be just to keep it at the default, which is not sharing your calendar. That's the best solution, unless, like I said, you want to share it with family members. Okay, and I'm not going to add that because, as you can see, I already have a home calendar set up on my screen. So if I want to show that, because right now it's hidden, if I want to show it, I just click right on the square next to it, and that will show up in my calendar. So you can see, yep, got to take my daughter to dance this night, and I have other stuff going on. It shows up in a different color. If I want to hide that again, I just go ahead and click it to hide it. And you could do that with any of the calendars you want on here. If I want to show birthdays, I could just click on that. If I want to temporarily hide some of my classes, I can do that. I would recommend you don't, because then you're going to miss the assignment showing up on your calendar. You're going to realize that you do not want to add a whole bunch of calendars to this, because then your calendar just starts to look too crazy and it's hard to juggle everything. If you do need to add a calendar from, it says coworker, but maybe it would be a brother or sister or something like that, you certainly can do that. You just type their Google address in and it will pop up. I tend to add my husband's, because then that way I know if he has a golf tournament coming up, or if we're going to the Iowa State game on that weekend. So that helps. You can only access calendars with an email address here. If you want to add a calendar a different way, for example, I think most of you might want to go ahead and add the North Fayette Valley Middle School calendar to your own calendar. And that shows up on the website. So if you just go to the NFV Middle School website page and you click on the full calendar, you'll notice right down here at the bottom, there's a little Google Calendar sign. And if I click on that, it'll take me to my calendar and it'll ask me, do you want to add this calendar? Yes, I do. Because then that way I can see all of the events that are coming up. So all of my football games, or all of my cross-country meets, all the early dismissals, and yes, even picture day will show up on my calendar so that I can keep track of all that stuff. So I think that will really help you streamlining your calendar and making sure when you're planning you can take everything into account. And like I said, you can change the color of that because it'll show up down here. So if I don't like yellow, then I want to change it to, whoops, click on the drop down here. I want to change it to mint green. There you go. So that's round 2 of Google Calendar tutorial. If you have any other questions, definitely ask a teacher or ask me. I'll be around most days. Thanks for listening again.